not a scientist. So.
Yeah, we're not scientists.
No.
We are not scientists.
Yeah,
we know
just a
absolutely
disclaimer.
nothing. We do
Yeah.
not know anything. We're bullshitting all of this right now. This is the idea behind this. It's like, I guess, a separate podcast in a way.
I guess, yeah, I don't know. Let's figure out a name maybe.
So Nathan, what are your thoughts on time travel? Do you think it's going to be possible one day?
Well, actually, I think recently there's been kind of a breakthrough in like warp bubble technology.
What does that mean?
So
Warp bubble technology?
yeah, basically like a hyperdrive you'd see in like fucking Star Trek or like Star
like
Wars
light
or some
speed.
shit like that. Yeah, exactly. It basically faster than light travel.
Wow.
And essentially they have been able to make a very small scale warp bubble.
Really?
Yeah, they've actually like
They can like send particles at that speed or something?
I'm not sure if they've like gotten to the point where they can really like form it in the way that it would actually allow us to like travel like that, but the concept has been proven. Basically they made a small scale.
Really?
Yeah,
So it's doable.
yeah, essentially. And like I was just looking at YouTube videos and shit like that, but people are like getting closer than ever to like actually making like or designing the actual like drives themselves, like the engines. And
Yeah.
they're gonna look crazy, honestly, but the way it works is like, I mean, on a broad scale, I'm obviously no
Chad
engineer
science.
or anything. Exactly, Chad science. It's essentially like what it does is it extends space-time behind you, and then it shortens it in front of you. So it's literally bending like the fabric of space.
Like a slingshot?
Almost. I think they compared it to like riding a wave, like surfing. You're basically, it's kind of like surfing like the actual like space-time continuum almost. Like the actual fabric of space. It warps like space and time,
To
I
like
guess.
force you forward.
Yeah, and it literally extends the distance
That's a good
behind you,
analogy.
and it shortens it in front of you. It's literally bending like space-time.
Really?
Yeah.
When did you see this?
I have no idea, dude. I just be browsing Reddit.
You just be browsing,
like,
you be
fucking
finding shit.
YouTube, yeah. I just like.
That's crazy. I didn't even think that was gonna be. I didn't think that would be one of the things we found out how to do. I did not think light speed, like in all those Star Wars, Star Trek type shits.
Yeah.
I did not think light speed was gonna be the one that we ended up really going forward with.
I mean, I think since it's such like a. I mean, we've been looking at the stars since we've been an infant species. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah.
this has been a goal for humankind for many thousands of years. So I'm honestly not surprised that we've put so much time and effort into it. It is crazy that it's actually like real though. Like we might be able to be playing out these like sci-fi movies and shit like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's nuts.
Well, I mean, it's kind of gotta be like, you know, like I think about like if you want to do something like time travel, you're gonna need to first be able to understand that, or be able to have the concept of like bending time and space in some
Yeah.
sense. Because the idea behind time travel would probably be like wormholes and shit like that. You'd need to like basically bend. This is space. You need to like bend it together,
Yeah.
and then match up 2 points and
tear
zoom
a
through
hole
from
through, yep.
from one point to the other.
You're literally folding the fabric of reality basically
Yeah.
onto itself, punching a hole and going through. That's basically
Which-
what a wormhole is.
Sounds like we're playing God a little.
Yeah. Wait till we fucking figure out how to master like gene technology.
Oh my God.
That's when we're really going to be playing gods, because we will physically be able to just create any creature, any life form that we want to once we figure out exactly how to splice genes, exactly how to
Yeah, you can
get
like
what traits we
design your
want.
child.
Absolutely. That's already a thing, basically.
The fuck is that, dude?
I've seen videos of like kind of that they like a procedure that kind of helps that. It's like at an early stage, I guess, maybe. But what they it's not always used for like designer babies. I think sometimes it's just needed for fertilization.
Designer babies. Babies by Gucci.
That's what they Prada baby, bro. No, that's crazy.
I'm proud of my baby.
Absolutely. But they basically take a needle that's just like basically nanometers fucking thin.
Yeah.
It's tiny.
Uh-huh.
And they will literally suck up a singular sperm, the healthiest one that they can see,
Wow.
and they physically inject it into the egg, and then they can implant it in the mother. But it's her egg. They just take it out. It's the father's sperm, and they just do it, and it's like perfect insemination, I guess. And it's crazy, but that's kind of how they'll be I assume that's kind of how gene splicing and like designer babies might work.
That's a start.
Yeah,
least.
exactly. Yeah.
You pick the best of the herd. Just you can like look at the genes and be like, all right, this kid's gonna be, no. I mean, it'd be good to get rid of like mental disabilities. I feel like let's make sure that they're not fucked up from the start.
Exactly.
But like, I don't know if like picking the best at everything is also the wave. I feel like.
I mean, it's probably going to happen.
I know.
I think it'll be probably just for the rich for the most part.
It's kind of fucked
time.
up though, because, I'm not perfect. We're not perfect people.
No.
I mean, these kids still won't be. They're human.
No.
So they won't be perfect, but they'll have a fucking crazy good start, just cause. Yeah. And on top of that, it probably will be the rich that get to do that, and so they already have money, and they're gonna be blessed with just like they'll probably be the most attractive, athletic kid that they could create between the two parents. And then they grow up to be rich, and then they do the same thing with their kids, and then they have, since they're both perfect people, because they got genetically modified, then their kid's going to be even more perfect. It'll speed up our evolution, I guess.
Yeah, it will. But like, it won't
is that even evolution?
Be unilateral. Like, it'll be the elite that, if anything, it's just going to. I mean, now that I think about it, like, if the elite were to just like become like a dominant species over like the common people, basically we'd either get enslaved or just eradicated, and that actually technically basically is natural evolution, actually, because that's kind of what happens in nature. Basically a change in the environment will force new pressures on species. Okay. And if a certain species just happens to have a mutated gene that ends up helping them with that new environment or like new pressure, they will become the dominant. They'll be able to they'll be able to feed easier, and they'll be able to reproduce better than the non-mutated ones, I guess. If that makes sense. And then the old ones die out, and that's how a species evolves, basically. So.
Thing is, now we have conscience and morals and things like
money.
that. There's a reason why we still have like kids like with Downs, like getting married and having kids and all that. Like, we allow that openly, and a lot of people very much encourage that. And I feel like, but if it's like the real elite and if they're all scumbags, they might just be like, all right, well, we're diff. So
we are diff.
We're gonna have to murk all these boys, or we're gonna have to just enslave them, or just, it's kind of like they might just do it through like the system.
Yeah.
Like they'll just keep their power, because really, like, you're kind of a slave in your day-to-day life.
Oh yeah. We
anyway,
already are.
I'm slave. In a weird way. Like, obviously, I'm getting paid. I have my own. I have all. Look at me right now. I'm having a ball. Yeah. This is great.
Most people can't do this.
Most people can't. No. Majority.
But even so.
Even so.
The people above us can do far more.
Oh my God. They don't gotta do
shit. So they're not genetically any different from us. They don't have any like natural starting point, or a starting point. They don't have a natural starting point, at least. Yeah. Financially, a lot of them do. But
some of them even what was I just gonna say? Some of them even fuck, I lost it again. That was crazy. I've never done that before.
Damn, the twofer.
I've never gone 2 for 1. I have never said something, remembered it, and then said it again and lost it a second time.
I do that daily. I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning, dog.
Dude, I can't believe that I just did that. It's kind of like, it's like the reverse of deja vu. Deja vu feels like I'm remembering something as it's happening.
Yeah.
Whereas this is like, I can't even remember it as I'm remembering it.
It's just like, it's like it gets deleted, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah, our brains are weird. Well, it's because we're very selective in what we remember.
Yeah.
Like I know every word to like Not Afraid by Eminem, whatever. Yep. But I won't be able to remember like stuff for like a test.
Yeah.
Even if I study or like whatever. Mm-hmm. Your brain just doesn't. Some people are really good at performing, like they'll learn like a couple tools and get really good at putting those to use, and some people are really good at memorizing a bunch of things, but not necessarily know how to use the tools to get there.
Yeah.
It's that's always interesting. I feel like it's more valuable to be able to, it's like learn how to fish. To give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish, he eats for life. Like, that's kind of that concept, I guess.
No, I get you. I mean, damn, I had something I was gonna say, and I
Did you lose it?
I lost it. Yo, there's something in the air down here, brother. What is going on?
Dude,
Oh
we're
my
so
God.
bad. We're terrible humans for that. We see, this is what I'm talking about, though. We forget shit in the
Yeah.
middle of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
These genetically modified motherfuckers won't forget nothing.
No.
Steel trap up there.
Yep.
You ever talk to someone that's like really sharp, like really on the ball, and you're just like I can't even make a mistake around this guy.
Could have been me, bro.
It could have been me, yo. Like, they're just better than me
Yeah.
in this sense. They're just
feel
outdoing
you.
me conversationally.
I mean, some people just like. Actually, that's what I think that was kind of along the lines of what I was gonna say. People just think differently. Like, our brains are incredible just in themselves, but also like just like the what's the word? The diversity.
Yeah.
That you can like. Yeah.
Diversity.
That you can get in like personalities and just like everything. Honestly,
even-
just the way people think, the way people perceive
Yeah.
the world. Because when you think about it, there's no reason that we couldn't have evolved as just like a clone species, basically, just like a hive mind. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like look
mushrooms.
at ants. Yeah.
Ants.
Mushrooms, ants, like a lot of bugs actually. And it's just like
Bees.
I think about that sometimes.
Hive
it's like
mind.
there are facts. There's so many different paths that like our reality could have taken.
Oh,
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
Oh, my God.
Like just the fact that we're sitting here like in the way that we are, it's just like there's so many little like tiny moments that just kind of decided like the fate of what we're doing right now, basically.
Like, who's to say there's not a reality possibility where we have tails? You know? Like, we kind of
There, yeah.
genetically
absolutely.
outgrew a lot of things. Like, we learned,
Yep.
like, you know, our posture's gotten better as we've walked more because we're not swinging from trees.
We started walking.
You know, we started walking and shit.
Crawling.
Much worse way to move, by the way. I'd much rather swing from trees.
I mean, yeah. Honestly, that'd be really fun.
Like,
we still can.
I'd love to have, but, like, you know, I got decent strength for a human,
Yeah.
but, like, I ain't swinging. Monkey
Yeah.
bars is as good as I can do.
No, I feel you.
I ain't
mean,
gonna be swinging from branch to branch. That'd be fucking crazy.
closest we got is like fucking rock climbers and like parkour people.
Dude, those parkour people are fucking serious. So let's say this, right? You got a parkour person, and they got the fucking crazy good grip strength, and they've got the discipline in their brain. Like, there's somewhat of that genetic. The genetics are built for
Yeah.
rock climbing just naturally.
Yeah.
And then they marry a rock climber and they have a child, and then they choose the best rock climbing child from their sperm egg combination possible, and that child just becomes the fucking greatest rock climber ever.
They're just a mountain goat.
Straight up, they don't even go to bed, they just hang on a mountainside, and they can just sleep like this because
Like a
their
bat,
body.
bro. They just hang upside
Yeah,
down.
for
just
real.
off a cliff.
With their fucking toes. They're hanging with their toes on mountains.
No, they just get so good they just fucking float up the mountain, bro. They don't need to touch shit. They're just
Yeah,
like,
they just start
bring me
flying.
up.
Bring them up.
Nice.
Bring that boy up. Like, that's so unfair to me. I don't think that's
Yeah.
something that should be okay. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that I think should be a constitutional right against.
Yeah.
Like, that should not be allowed to genetically modify your child.
It gets really complicated.
What are
honestly.
the
Like,
possible negatives? Like, what could really come from that other than maybe like, because if you think about, oh, well, what if they enslave us, and then,
Yeah.
or like, what if they don't need us anymore? It's like, all right, well, technically that's not a negative. That's a negative for you, but for the human race, like, it's kind of a positive.
Yeah.
Like, we think of cities as somewhat positive for us, like, as humans. It's terrible for the human race. It's terrible for the earth.
Yeah.
So in the end, it's actually a negative.
Yeah.
What are some, like, long-term, legitimate, like, for our species negatives? Could we go into, like, a civil war amongst ourselves? Could we, like,
Possibly.
could the idiots fight the fucking, like, all those rich fucks
Yeah, possibly.
and
'cause,
just
I mean,
end up murdering each other?
yeah. I mean, yes. The answer is yes. I mean, it's possible. That's the thing. Like anything's possible, but at the end of the day, like I don't know. Gene splicing could go a lot of ways. Because I think it's a lot more powerful than people actually realize.
You know what's hilarious? We started with time.
Yeah,
and this is now the gene splicing. We're talking about genetics.
Yeah.
That's fine. This is gonna be
okay
the genetics section instead.
Weird.
Actually. So, but yeah, no, it's it could go a lot of ways. I'm just wondering if that's gonna do us in first. You know?
It could.
It's pretty.
I mean,
because it's like close.
Because gene splicing has or I don't know if it's like gene splicing specifically, but just gene technology in general.
Yeah.
I mean, it has an insane amount of potential, like ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, it could eradicate diseases from entire populations. I mean, I mean, that's honestly a huge one, to be real. I mean, if you can choose like the genes that would give you like the best chance to not have like cancer or something. Like and entire populations would be cancer free, while other people might be dying out from a disease that's like technically kind of easy to cure now.
I just kind of thought of something.
Yeah.
So, let's say we think of like, all right, so this genetic coding, right? This gets rid of your chances of getting cancer. And, you know, the whole world gets on board with that. It's like, all right, you know what, let's legitimately end cancer.
Yeah.
So they go to basically every baby being born that they can fucking track. And every baby from now to the end of time, within any hospital system throughout all of the world, is going to be instantly injected with this thing that keeps them from getting cancer. Because it's the right thing to do, and we actually come together as a world, and that's one of our things that we do.
Gotcha.
Now, imagine one of the genetic things that makes you very susceptible to getting cancer is what could possibly save you from a different disease. And then this different disease arises and just fucks everything up because we were fucking around with cancer. Maybe you need some people that can get cancer because they're the people that can survive from chlamydia or whatever the fuck is going to start fucking people up.
No, I mean, that's a really good point. Cause
it's kind of potato famine-y. We just grew one crop. We'd be growing one person.
Yeah.
And then the one gets fucked up, they're all screwed.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, that's why, like, genetic diversity and, like, that's why, like, fucking your cousin and shit like that, it's not ideal.
Yeah, isn't it crazy? Like, isn't it crazy? You just, like, fucking your cousin will just result in dumb kids.
Yeah, basically. It's just, like, it's just too much of the same shit. Like, nah.
They're
need
like,
some new content, bro. Where's the DLC, bro? Come on.
It's like a gamer. Your genetics are like gaming. It's like, bro, where's my new content at? This is the same Call of Duty as last year.
Dude, it's like,
give them down. Like, that's so fucked up. It's just a good natural safeguard.
Yeah.
On top of the fact that no one should ever be doing that, but like, it's a good natural safeguard for it. Do you think if there wasn't that because I feel like we figured that out really early on when incest was much more common.
Yeah.
You think it got figured out and then it became a really bad, gross thing in our mind, or like?
I mean, think about all the kings that just like marry their like niece or some shit, or like 13-year-old like cousin or some shit like that, or even their sister sometimes. And like, I feel like I just heard about so many people that just would marry in their family and just like have kids and shit, like way back in the day. But I feel like it was honestly kind of common until maybe like 500, 600 years ago. I feel like that shit like continued up until like past the Middle Ages, or like the
it low key. It low key makes sense.
I'll hear you out.
Do you know what I mean? Okay, good.
You're gonna need some explanation here.
No, yeah, because obviously the way we live in society now, obviously incest, yuck.
Yeah.
It's so taboo. Yuck to our core. We genetically and biologically are made to be not attracted to our siblings.
Yeah. So
that we can diversify as a species and we can grow. We're naturally made to not like that. But if you think about it, like, if you think about it, you don't want to. No one wants to think about it. But if you think about it, like, it's people you know very well.
Yeah.
You know, you're with them your whole life.
You already have a predisposed like emotional connection.
Exactly. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna end it there.
I get it. We're
But
saying the
that's-
things that no one has the.
No one's got the
balls to say
fucking
about.
cajones. But I'm just saying, it makes. They're right there, like all the time. It makes sense.
Yeah.
If we weren't biologically disposed to not liking them and to not finding them attractive, it would make sense to just keep. Like, what if people only got married in your family? That would make sense, kinda. It's like that's your herd.
I mean, that's what people did to preserve like dynasties and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
They just fucked their like niece or their
A lot of
daughter
inbreeding.
sometimes. Yeah, a lot of it, dude, because they thought it kept them pure, but it actually just made them retarded.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
exactly.
It's kind of not a great trade-off, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, because we know that now, but it made.
Yeah.
Hey, they thought it made sense too.
Yeah, they
Kings.
thought a lot of things made sense.
Yeah, people. Yeah, and now maybe we're making the mistake of thinking
I was just thinking
that genetic coding makes sense. We're like, oh, why wouldn't we do that?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, it's not that I can show you the negatives. I can't. Like, obviously, I think the potato famine example is about as close as I can get to getting someone to be like, all right, yeah, probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But really, I have no evidence, no examples, no nothing. Like you could the other way. Like the other way, you could say, no, I can put this in them and they will not have cancer. Tell me why I shouldn't do that. I'm like, well, you're fucking... Any time we can play God, shit backfires. Ridiculously.
Yeah.
Every time. Pretty much.
This is kind of relating to current events, too. I mean, this is
Oh my
basically what
God.
the vaccines are about. Like,
Yeah.
we can, like, kind of make you not get this disease that might fucking kill you or not.
It's like...
People just fight it tooth and nail.
Yeah. Like,
I mean,
did we really need it? Did we need the vaccine?